Look.
You got it.
Hey, y'all. It's Tuesday,
Hey,
November
hey,
12th,
Sue.
2024. I'm Sue Bloom. I'm here with Hamilton Radio, hamiltonradio.net, iHeartRadio. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and wherever else Doc G has us. It's pretty
Oh,
much the
yeah.
way it goes down. He's always doing it. As you probably know over the years, I have reached out and I bring national artists and I bring international artists. And you've seen some of, oh, we're now on Instagram Live.
Oh,
There it
yeah.
is. Thank you very much. The golf clap on that one, Doc.
Yes.
I like that
Thanks,
idea.
Doc.
So, anyways, yeah, I mean, why not bring some international bands on for y'all to listen to, some new stuff? Um, I'm really particular about who I choose to have on the show. So tonight, for the very first time in the United States, I would like to welcome Don Cobra from LA Cobra. Hey Don, how you doing?
Hey, Sue. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for having me. It's great to be live in America at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So it's 3 a.m. and what kind of weather is it over there? Is it warm? Is it hot? Is it
It's warm, rainy weather, like humid, but it's very nice. I'm glad summertime is over here.
that makes my hair frizz. I kind of stay indoors if it's humid, you know. So, okay, LA Cobra is out of, help me out here, Pretoria, South Africa.
Pretoria, South Africa. Yeah, we started out in 2005. So,
And
but everybody asks why LA if we're from South Africa. The reason is it's because it's long African cobra.
oh,
Mm.
okay. I was thinking since your influences were, and I'll get into this a little bit later, were like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, I was thinking, US, LA, and
That
then
is also the
Cobra.
same. It's got a double play on it. You're right.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner,
Absolutely
chicken
right.
dinner, right? Oh,
Exactly, exactly.
oh, I'm so proud of myself. I cracked myself up. Sorry. Tell me, Don, what did it for you personally that got you wanting to be involved in music? And then,
Yes.
that grew into getting into the music industry. But what did it for you that
Um,
made music so special?
I think my parents, my grandfather, everybody played music. Like as a child, I saw them at parties. Play the organ or the concertina that I just told you
Yeah.
about. And obviously, I picked up a guitar and eventually started the first high school band with my cousin. And just after high school, I joined. I don't know if you remember the band, the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
sure.
Yeah, so Duncan, for the second vocalist from Bay City Rollers, he was living close to us. He's a Pretoria boy as well, and I played bass for him, and he basically got me into the live band scene. We did the Bay City Rollers and the Rabbit. I won't say tribute because he was in those bands, but we did like a local
Right.
tour with those songs. Trevor Rabin was also in Rabbit before he left for Yes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Go ahead. Um, that's interesting.
and
Were
then
they, are they from South Africa?
yeah, Rabbit was from South Africa. It was Duncan, Trevor Rabin, Ronnie Robot, and Neil Cloud. And then Trevor left for the US. He joined Yes, and Duncan went on with Rabbit as a three-piece, I think, and then he left to join the Bay City Rollers. And
That
then
is
later on,
quite
he came back.
interesting. That's
So
interesting. Did you have one of those plaid outfits like they had on? When I think of the Bay City Rollers, I just think of one of their photos that they had, and they had like red plaid.
yeah,
Um,
We did
Do you
had
remember that?
kilts. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Uh,
That's so cool.
And then
I
just after that, what happened then? Oh, we had another band for a while, and then the guys who started LA Cobras, they had another punk band, and they said, "Okay, cool, let's join us," and then we start LA Cobra. So that was in 2005.
That's
That's
interesting.
mm,
You have really interesting backstory, into your career. And we
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
even gotten into LA Cobra yet, but just yourself, you've played with some pretty amazing people.
I was
Congratulations.
lucky. Thank you. And I was lucky in my career to play with some nice international stars. Duncan was actually here 2 years. No, in 2017 he was here. We did a tour. I was his guitarist. It was so cool to reconnect with
Yeah,
him.
I bet it would be. Wow. And I was right when I told you to take a nap, rock star.
I didn't nap. I was scared that I would
Nobody's
not wake
there.
up.
It was hilarious. So as we dive into the band a little bit, tell me who makes up LA Cobra?
I guess
Who are
so.
the members?
Cully, our drummer, him and I are the original guys from the original lineup who started in 2005. We had a couple of lineup changes. At some point, we had a curse. Every bassist we had, I don't know how, why, but the girlfriend became pregnant.
That happens
so,
here too. Yeah.
so then in 2012, we Slade, our lead guitarist, he joined us briefly in 2007 for a couple of shows, and then he was busy with his other band, Triple Bypass. And in 2012, we connected again, and yeah, then I got Slade to ask him would he join LA Cobra on lead guitar. And couple of months after that, I bumped into our bassist. I was looking for a bassist, but I just saw this guy. I knew like I didn't know him, but I could see he's a nice guy, nice character,
Mhm.
down to earth.
Yeah.
And I asked him, "Hey, dude, can you join us for a couple of shows? We're touring next week to Durban, which is his hometown." And yeah, he never left. It's actually his
You
birthday
never
today.
like the visitor that wouldn't leave, eats all your snacks and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
so you when we were speaking before the show, y'all are playing some pretty large places. Um, just kind of you've been touring not only just in local in town, but tell us some of the places that you've toured and have played. I mean, you've been in
Um,
different countries.
Places that I've played on my own, as I told you, my first international show was in Switzerland, where I played acoustic. And since
Nice.
then, acoustically, by myself, I played Ireland, I played in Italy, I played in Australia, and I was
Wow.
supposed to play in Brazil, but then I missed my connection flight, so the gig was cancelled. But I was just there for the week, partying. Where else did I play? I'm missing something. Well, oh, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany. I did a solo tour in 2019, just before COVID.
Nice.
Yeah.
When doing something acoustic, it to me, because I've done both, and it's one thing to play with a band, but when it's just you in an acoustic, everything comes into perspective.
And it's
Right?
scary.
Your voice needs to be more pristine. You can't really rely on like the backup vocals or
Exactly.
effects. Your guitar playing has to be more clean,
Perfect.
right? So you don't
Yeah.
have distortion on the guitar, for it to sustain. So I can appreciate that. And were you playing the music that you wrote on all these different places that you visited and performed in?
Yes, I basically played LA Cobra songs. I've never actually recorded my own single. Well, actually planning to in future just for the fun of it. But LA Cobra is my priority, my baby. So, but I reworked the LA Cobra songs a bit that they're more acoustic viable for clubs and for the audience. Because obviously you
Yeah.
can't play something on acoustic that you play exactly on the electric.
Right, right.
And yeah, it's for me, it was basically just a fun thing to do. Go on holiday basically and see the world and play acoustic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would have been a lot of fun. A little bit of stress, but it would
Yeah, yeah.
definitely be a lot of fun, you know? And so, um, why then so the band actually the original band, LA Guns, we were talking about that earlier, LA Cobra, um, were they you said that they were a punk band.
Yeah, they
So
were a band called a punk band. I don't know if I must say their name on air, but they were called the Terrorists way back. um,
okay, I won't
yeah,
tell them if you don't.
yeah. So then they decided to start working, and they needed a vocalist. And I was doing, I don't know, Guns N' Roses or AC/DC
Yeah,
karaoke
yeah. Mhm.
for for shots. I was 20 years old, and they're like, "That's the guy. They need me." And we met, and everything worked out. And I left my other band I had at the time, and yeah, then we started 5th of November 2005. We we
And so
formed LA Cobra.
why did you pick the glam style, the sleaze rock glam? No, I mean, I love that stuff.
It,
I mean, there's no problem with it, but was there a reason why you went down that avenue instead of maybe being a harder rock band
I, I,
or what, what took you
it,
down
wa-
that road?
it all came natural to us because we grew up with that music. Our parents listened to Bon Jovi and Def Leppard and
Mhm.
even like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, those kind of stuff. So it was just natural for us. And the other reason was it was also something very unique over here because there's a lot of metal bands and there's a lot of rock bands, but there's not something in between. So
Right, right.
we hit the yeah the right how can I say crowd and the right time when we started in 2005. Everything was just how can I say the timing was right, and it went
Yeah.
super well. And from there it grew, and we had international attention because people were like a glam band from Africa. We have to see this. And then MySpace started and Facebook. So we had since the beginning a lot of attention because we're from
Right,
Africa doing this. Yeah, but we also grew up with the music.
right. Well, okay. So here in America, I believe what I'm going to ask you. Do the women do the women throw their bras and panties at you because you're doing that kind of music?
It happened a lot in the past.
See, there you go. I rest my case. Is like they do it here in America, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm one of those that will just kind of ask the most obscure stuff, and it
No, it
pops
did
in my
happen. I'm not gonna lie. I had a collection at some point, but then it was, how can I say, someone threw the box away.
Oh, okay. The box is gone.
The box
All
is
right.
gone.
The box is gone. All right. But it's cool that you kept them.
Yeah, I
You
had
know.
it. It was just like it came like always like in your guitar pedals and stuff. Everybody would chuck in the
Yeah.
stuff,
I
and then
mean, it's like
eventually it's like, hey, look what I got at the show. You threw it in a box, and
you didn't pass them around for the smell test. I was hoping.
no, we
Look at those
didn't.
eyes. You're like,
No.
she really said that.
Oh,
So, okay. So let's see. Um, so you're influenced by Guns N' Roses. Um, I already got through all that stuff. Oh, we went through so much stuff just and it's not
that's
even quarter after yet.
that's
What's
Motley
the
Crue. It's one of my favorite bands. I love
I
Motley.
think you and I could talk for hours about all of this stuff.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is the rock scene like in South Africa?
Well, it's very diverse. There's a huge rock scene over here. As you know, our native or my native language is Afrikaans, which is similar to Dutch. So I would say in the late 2000s, the English rock bands became a bit smaller, like stuff that we do,
Mm-hmm.
and the Afrikaans scene is very big at the moment. So there's a huge Afrikaans rock scene. But for us, the English rock scene, even though it's smaller here, we get a bigger reach abroad. So we kind of stuck to our roots. But yeah, there is a big rock scene and there's a big metal scene here as well. It's like there's
Oh, is
some,
there really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
like
And
Black
then with
Dahlia Murder was here 2020, just before COVID. We played with them, opened one of the bands opened for the Black Dahlia Murder.
really, I yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the Black Dahlia. Yeah, I remember watching the story about that on like the History Channel or something. So
Yeah.
when you all write your music, who is the main songwriter, or is it a band thing that everybody comes together and the lyrics? How does that work for the
It's
band?
it changes from song to song. Like, for example, Shotgun Slinger. That song was written at rehearsal. We came up with a riff, and that song basically wrote himself.
Yeah,
And other times Slade would bring a guitar riff to the studio, and we would work on it, or I would bring something, or Slade would write the whole
right.
song, or Cully, our drummer, he would write the whole song, and then he'll give each of us our part that we must play, and then obviously we can put our input into it. And sometimes we'll write lyrics together, or if, for example, again, our drummer, if he's got an idea, like he'll write the lyrics actually, and then we'll just tweak it as we go along. But every song has got its own process. Like at the moment with the new stuff, we are actually rehearsing it before we're gonna record it now. Like it's just like everybody's playing through it, so we can see. Okay, this is
That
gonna
is
work. Yeah.
that is so cool that everyone writes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and a band is kind of like a marriage, you
That's very
know,
true.
isn't it? Isn't it? And you're you're dealing with five different personalities.
Exactly.
Okay. And everybody has their own, well, I'm going to say the word ego because we're musicians, and if we didn't have some form of an ego, not saying that we think we're the greatest, but it's the fact of getting up on stage and performing for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a marriage. And how do you guys ever like get
Uh,
into a situation and threaten each other with divorce?
we are the luckiest band on the planet because all four of us are best friends, and we never had the ego. We have respect for each other. Like we love each
Right.
other. It's like your opinion matters, my opinion matters, and if something doesn't work, we will find something else that works. Like we had other bands coming up to us, it's like, how do you guys do it? It's like, I mean, we never even had one fight, even on tour, on the road, never ever.
Wow.
So, and for the past 20, well, with previous band members, not this lineup, there was some personalities that clashed, I would say. But with this lineup for the past almost 13 years now, there was not one fight, not one disagreement. We'll obviously talk it out as
Right.
adults and not go like, "Hey, man, you." It's never like that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. You know, you should be able to like, well, talk it out. Just talk it out.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person I've always been. It's just like, let's talk this out here a little bit, and not be like, yeah, but you did this.
That's never
Where's
like
that
that.
get you? I mean, it's kind of like the same thing in a marriage. I mean, it doesn't get you anywhere, but
Exactly. Yeah.
fighting.
And the thing is, we want to make this work, and we know if one part of the puzzle is not there, it's not going to work. The four of us is like, how can I say? I won't say the Beatles, but with the four of us is like that magic
Right.
um, ingredient. Like all four of us work together, the harmonies work, the vocals work on tour. Everybody gets along. If you get a new personality in, it's might not work. It might not be that magical. So we all know that's precious. So we protect this and treasure it, if I can put it like
Right.
that.
Well, you're all working towards the same goal.
Yeah,
And without one another, one's not going to get there before the other one is. So it's
exactly.
like you're all going to cross the finish line at the same time,
Yes. And
right?
that's also why with our songs and everything is 25% per member. We don't have any like you wrote this and you wrote that. We split it up even because we all work towards it.
Hey Sal, thanks for thanks for joining us. Well, Don and I were just talking, and even the Beatles always had arguments. But what Don is saying is the fact that the five guys that make up the band really don't have any issues. They'd rather talk it out than fight. But it's always like that with every band. I speak from experience. It's the greatest women and beat up each other, but that's the name relationship. And she was just saying, like in the marriage, yes, yes. But it's a beautiful thing when it comes together and it
Yeah, yeah,
works, and I've worked with some musicians that, yeah, that's how it was. We're all together as one. We want to do what's best.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
argue? You know,
Exactly.
you might get pissed off here and there, like we all do,
Yeah,
but
there's emotions, but it's not. It's never anger.
it's never anger. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that's the thing, and I'm glad that you have that because there's a lot of bands that don't.
And the thing
Where
is, if you keep quiet, it's gonna boil up. So we would rather like just discuss something if it's not working for you, if it's song wise, or just say, dude, listen, this doesn't work. What do you guys feel about this? Let's see if we can get something else, and or we'll come back to this.
yeah,
But yeah, to get yeah, yeah, no one is so how can I say eager to fight with each other because we actually enjoy hanging out together. So it's not like you don't want to go and hang out with your enemy. It's like if I can put it like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Even Sal agrees. Thanks, Sal, for your comment.
Thanks, Sal. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
the Beatles were fighting, but what I meant was like with their harmonies, that was so special. It was a special ingredient, and for us, it's like the same thing. If one of the members are not there, it's not that special. So we try to protect it.
yeah, and they were recording on like a 4-track deck.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I've been in the music business since the late '70s. Believe me, I know. I'm right there with you, Sal. Been in the industry for decades, so I can appreciate what you're saying. Thank you so much. So in 2010, the first album out was "How Much Snake You Can Take."
How much snake can you take? Yes.
Love that name.
Yeah, that was yeah, one of our I think that's very catchy. It was actually a poster we had um for a flyer for a gig or something, and then we just said, yeah, that's such a catchy name. Let's use it for an album.
Definitely a cool title. So then in 2017, Shotgun Slinger was the album,
Yes, yes, yeah,
right? And then we go to 2021. Um, you get involved with some people. And then in 2022, Superstition comes out.
yes, yes,
Yes. And there's some great tracks off of that. In fact, for the first time in the US, we are going to play it live here on the show. And we're going to play Superstition. So, Doc, cue it up and play that beautiful track. This is LA Cobra playing for the first time in the US.
oh
With
yeah.
me,
Thank
Sue
you,
Bloom, LA Cobra, Superstition. Let's go.
Here we go,
thank you, Doc.
guys. Here we go. Like a wishbone, mirrors can steal your undying soul. Just knock on wood, fingers crossed, so misunderstood. This is the fear of the unknown. Stop living in the twilight zone. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fuck gun. We're still indoors. I want your room for noon and more. Tap on the clock. Friday, Thursday, means no coming back. This is the fear of the unknown. Stop living in the twilight zone. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun. Give me a reason for superstition, you crystal ball. Should show it all. Your paranoia, let it destroy and just carry on. It's a fun gun.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, so there you heard it. L.A. Cobra from South Africa, the first time being heard here in the U.S. on Hamilton Radio, iHeartRadio, and of course the Sue Bloom Show.
Oh, yes.
And
Thanks for
so
having us.
it was good. Yeah, definitely. Who came up with the concept of the video?
We worked with a guy. His name is Booby Man. um, yeah, that's his. He did a couple of big South African music videos, and yeah, that whole concept was written. It was still in COVID, it was dark times, and we were like thinking,
Yeah.
what can we do? What's different? And so he came up with a concept, and the actor that's in there, Casper de Vries, he's actually a very famous South African actor, and it just so
Oh,
happened that we were shooting at his house that day, and Booby Man asked him, "Would you be in the video?" And he's like, "Yes, sure."
oh,
So yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. He's an actor slash comedian in South Africa, very famous since the 70s, 60s, 70s. Yeah. So
Geez, I have a couple voodoo dolls of men that I've dated over the years, and I see them, stick a needle in their eye or something like that. So I am all about that superstition and paranormal stuff. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. Slade actually wrote the song. It was his concept and everything. I
Oh,
had the
nice.
if I remember correctly, I had just the chorus melody. I said we must do this in that timing, but it was his concept for the song, and
Yeah,
we
I really like the chorus with all the vocals in the chorus.
yes,
I
yes,
think that it's very catchy. And
and
I think maybe that's the song I heard when I found you.
oh really?
Yeah,
That's really
because
cool.
I happened to be on Spotify and went to listen to someone's song, and their song didn't come up, but yours did. And I'm like,
Thank,
okay, well, let's see what these guys are all about. I listened
thank
to it, and I went,
goodness.
oh, this stuff is freaking great. And then I wrote to you. So uh, that's that's how and that's how it all happened.
That's how it drove down.
And
No, thank
that's
you so
how it
much.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always looking for different artists, and I have probably 250 bands that want to be on the show, and I listen to every band, and I listen for like 30 seconds. People that have seen me and watched the show, they say, "You say that every time." I do. 30 seconds. And if there's not something like the riff or, the drum, something pulling me in, if it's something that could lead to something more, I'll listen to it longer. But if it doesn't grab me in the first 30 seconds, I'm
Yes,
on to another song. It could be the same
thanks.
band, but
Yeah,
it's just my kind of way of doing things.
that's a huge compliment. Thanks.
Oh, absolutely. So as we all are musicians and have been on the road, what would you say your most memorable performance was?
um, uh, at- yes, there's so many. At this stage, one that I can think of was the first time that we played in Germany,
Oh,
and
nice.
we played the song "War" from the previous album, and the people knew the lyrics. They were singing with us, and I was like, "Whoa!" This was,
Whoa.
and yeah, but with that performance was like it was so weird because it's our first time on tour abroad, and people knew our names. They knew my dog's name. They asked why did Evil shave his beard, so they went and
It knew your
dug
dog's name.
my dog's name. How's your dog doing? How's Goa? And I'm like, oh, she's good.
Yeah, really.
And then when we played that night, and they were singing each and every lyric, so that was a very special show. And also last year when we played in England, in the UK, the HRH Fest, that was also like we were headlining the second stage, and there were friends of ours played at the same time on the main stage, a band
Mhm.
called Sister. And I was so surprised that because they're quite big, they're from Sweden, and that people actually the second stage area was full. So that was also a very special moment. And then afterwards we had drinks, and I said to them, "Yes, I really wanted to see your show," and they're like, "Oh, we really wanted to see your show." So,
Right.
but that was also a very special moment.
I love those outdoor concerts like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love playing outdoors, especially when the weather's nice.
And also Cock Rock in Belgium. It's
Cock rock.
a cock rock, but the city is called The Haan, and The Haan in Belgium is a cock, is a rooster. So it's
Oh, okay.
a cock rock. Yeah, that was a very cool festival.
Thanks for explaining that, Don.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for that.
Have you picked up on me yet? Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, a piece of work. Okay, so while we're at this, question number two, contestant, what was the most wildest story you could share that happened on the road?
On the road. Oh, we got locked up.
Oh, no, that's a good one. Oh, you got to
Um,
tell me.
oh, detained. How can I put it? So,
Detained.
so we were touring with Wild Street from New York and by a band Striker Nine from um, Sweden. And what happened was, it was that story I told you about the bus that didn't want to go up. We were in Germany, but we were supposed to go from France to the UK via um, the ferry.
Okay.
And yeah, so what happened was the info we got, we didn't have the right visas. We had tourist visas. So just to tell everybody, always do the right visa. We didn't know. We were misinformed. We were told if you pay, well, it was our first tour. If you get less than £1,000 per night, you don't need a working visa. That is not the truth. You need a working visa even if you play for free. So
Really?
we, yeah, yeah, in the UK and even Wall Street because they had American passports, so they also needed working visas, but we didn't. Obviously, no one. I wasn't doing their booking, so. But yeah, then we got detained for about 18 hours in France, and
Just because
the
of the visa.
the visa, yeah, I don't like all of us had visas, and our documents said that we are performing, but
Hmm.
because there was money involved and the I don't want to mention names, but people who booked us
Right.
didn't gave us the right information in the beginning. They thought we wanted to go in with false pretenses, which wasn't the truth at all. We just wanted to do something right, but then last year we toured to the UK and we finalized that. We were detained again for an hour just to sort
No.
out
No
that stuff
way.
from the past. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. It's not cool, but it's so cool.
Yeah, so we were detained for 18 hours with real criminals in the in the cell with us. But it was quite funny.
So you all are in one cell,
All in
and
one cell.
you're all in one cell. And is there at any point where you guys are looking at each other and just kind of like laughing about it, going, "How the hell did we get here?"
We were well. The funniest thing for me was I went smoking. The guy, the border agent, he was like, I was in the army with a South African guy, and he named the name, and I'm like, dude, that's my cousin. And he's like, you're lying. I'm like, that's my cousin. I'll show you on my phone. And then he was in the army with my cousin. Weirdest freaking
Oh
story.
my gosh!
And yeah, then he took us each like one by one to have a cigarette. And as we, well, the place where they kept our phones and stuff, I saw there was like a little plastic bag with boiled eggs in. So our drummer had like the eggs that he wanted to take on the ferry, and we confiscated his eggs.
Does the band have any music videos on YouTube I could check out? Yes, Sal. They have quite a few music videos on YouTube. I'm just playing tonight the videos with their latest album, and we are going to play another one coming up. But so rumor has it that there's something else in the works coming out for LA Cobra, and Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, next year is our 20th anniversary. So
Wow.
we are planning a brand new album that we will release independently. We've got about 8 or 9 songs that solid ideas and solid songs. We're just gonna track them very soon, and hopefully Martin Sweet, the guy who mixed from Crash Diet, scap I'm wearing actually. He mi-
Yes, I
he
saw
mixed
that.
he mixed our previous 2 albums, Shotgun Slinger and Superstition. He'll be on the mixing duties again of the album. And then
Oh, cool.
we're also busy doing this little documentary that's for our 20th anniversary that we'll release sometime during the year next year.
That'll be fun.
And we'll have a song that we're going to collaborate with some special guests. I cannot name them yet,
Yes.
yeah, that's going to be for our 20th. It's going to be local and international friends, guys who we toured with
That's
and stuff.
great.
Yeah,
I mean, we still have 20 minutes left, but you definitely have to. I will follow your journey as I
that
do
would
all
be.
my guests, but definitely when things are happening, let me know.
I
And
will. I will do
I will
definitely.
definitely do something for you. Hopefully, you'll get to the States.
That's we're working towards that. We were supposed to play in the States. There was a festival called the Rock and Skull Fest in
Hmm.
Illinois, and we were invited to play in 2018. And I can't remember. Oh yeah, the flight sponsors pulled out. We were waiting for documentation, and during that time, the flights went like it was 100,000 rand. I don't know how much is that in dollars now. More than $20,000 for the four of us, and then the sponsors pulled out. So that was quite
Wow.
sad. But we're working towards that. If we can find a promoter and that can assist us with some bookings and obviously the right paperwork with the right visas, then
Hmm.
we can definitely do it. I don't want to do it with the wrong visas again.
Wherever you're
My
playing
life.
wherever you're playing in the U.S., I'm going to talk to Doc G, and I'm going to borrow the station's jet. You
Come
hear him
fetch
laughing in
us.
the background, and
Mm.
I'm going to say, Doc, look, I have to go. L.A. Cobra's playing L.A., or they're playing Arkansas, or they're playing Florida. I'm going. And
Doc,
Doc's going to say, well, get your money out because we don't have a jet just yet, do we, Doc? I know
damn.
you're back
I
there.
thought you were
We're,
gonna come
we're
fetch
working
us.
on it.
I know. See, we's working on it. So you never know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll let you know, and you can hook me up with you know, a pass so that I don't have to throw my panties up to you.
Yeah,
Of course,
exactly. You're our friend.
I don't wear
um,
any for that reason. You're like, where did she come up with this stuff? Oh, it's good to know.
good to
Yeah,
know.
geez, thanks for sharing that. And all our viewers are going, yeah, that's the Sue we know. But yeah, I made
Rock
myself.
and roll, Sue.
And yeah,
Michael, nice.
thanks, Michael Mazzotti. Ah, Italian brother.
But
Okay,
did you
so
notice
go ahead.
we said at the same time, good to know.
See, we were, well, it's because our birthdays were the same day.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why we know.
exactly,
Y'all, can you
exactly.
believe this? He wished me a happy birthday, or I think I wished him a happy birthday. It came up in my reminders. And I wrote him, I'm like, happy birthday, Don. My gosh, our birthdays are exactly the same day.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
yeah,
noticed.
we were born on November 1st, just different years.
Yeah,
Well, I'm close to your age. No, I'm not.
27, 27, like 27.
You're 27. I'm
No, you
on like
27.
I'm on my second time through 27, and
Good
with a
to
little
know.
bit of, with a little extra. So, okay, tracking. You when you go into the studio, or yeah, I take it you go into a studio,
Yes, yes.
and then everything is all digital right now, so that you can cut and paste, but cut and paste. I was really particular when I go into the studio. Is like I love that analog sound.
I do.
So yeah, so I wanted the drums especially to be really meaty, and said, "I want the drums cut in 2 inch." And he's like, and my producer's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I may be crazy, but I
Yeah,
may
that
be
one.
right." So we cut them in 2 inch, and a click on one channel, and away we went. So you like that analog sound as well?
I love it, but unfortunately, at this stage, it's super expensive to get it over here. There's one studio in Cape Town that can do analog tracking, but it's gonna cost us, I don't even know, probably $20,000 just to
Really?
track. Yeah, yeah. If I have to estimate the tracking, but Slade has got his own studio, so we are luckily to have our own. So it's a professional studio that we can record at. We have that's also the downfall sometimes because we have too much time. We can change. You know how it is when you have your own.
Absolutely.
So you're like, oh,
It,
let's change this, let's change that. But yeah, we have our own studio, which we're very fortunate to have, and we're tracking there, and then we send everything to Sweden, to Martin Sweet, to mix and master for us.
and that's the thing, because you listen to it, you mix it, you come back the next day or the following day and go, that guitar's too bright. I gotta cut that back a little bit, a couple dB on that, or I, that snare just doesn't sound big enough. I am like that to a fault.
Mm.
It's like really back in the day when everything was analog. I would mix down, and then I would make like, yeah, get this one, a cassette tape of it. Okay. Play it in my car, play it in somebody else's car, play it on, like a boom box, something like that, and go, okay. You're listening in different
Yeah,
ways and different speakers and stuff to see how the mix works overall.
you have
And
to.
being limited back then, in all analog, but recording has just come so far, and you can do stuff now. Yeah, yeah, you have to have you got a good investment in it, as I'm sure your drummer does. But that's the beauty of it,
Yeah. The
you
craziest
know.
thing is you can record a whole album in your bedroom. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
Chicky? I can't remember her name now. Billie Eilish or something. Her first hit single was recorded in the bedroom. I was like, whoa, that went international. That went huge. So
yeah,
the
and and that's the thing. You don't even need play. I mean, for an individual musician, who writes music, but doesn't have a band or doesn't know, a couple guys that can come over and play some stuff with the plugins, with the drums. I mean, with
yeah,
whatever instrument, everything is there. And it used to cost like an arm and a leg, and you had to have a master's degree in technology, especially
yeah,
with Pro Tools. But things are getting much more simplified. If you use Mixbus, it depends on, what software you're using.
yes,
And
yes, that's
you
true.
don't have to have a huge ass mixer, because it's all on the screen. And although I like to have a mixer because I like the sliders, and
The buttons, yeah.
yeah, I want to balance that shit out, because I'm kind of I'm a real sucker for studio.
Yeah,
And
and I
if
love
it's
it.
not
that smell of it when you go in there, and there's always a vibe when you go with your friends into the studio. You know, like
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's something about recording
it's,
that
it's
kind of,
chemistry.
yes. And so when the band, what do you lay down first, or does he have like in some isolation rooms where you all can play at once? You've got headphones and go from there.
Yeah. So what we do is we'll play like the track, and he will just record it over room mics,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he's at home, he will do a guide, and then from the guide track, we'll start building the tracks when we're all together. But yeah, and then obviously the vocals, we have like a little vocal booth that we set up in the big studio. But
Right.
yeah, um, everything is different how it used to be. I remember like that you mentioned Pro Tools. The first time I went to a big studio, the guy had a special Pro Tools mixing desk, which is like this big.
Huge.
It can. I
Yeah.
was like, you need a degree to literally work that thing,
And
and
as
now you
well
can do
as
everything with your mouse and keyboard.
right, as well as a college degree in
Sound engineering.
yeah, what do I want to call it? Computer science, because of knowing where this goes and what this language means, and everything is kind of different,
Exactly.
but it has gotten more user friendly, I would
I know
say.
people record on their phones, like with GarageBand. They'll just like
I too,
demo stuff
if I
on
have
the
an
track.
idea, I have a program, I just sing right into it and I go, okay, there's my reference. But you're right,
Exactly.
with GarageBand, you can create, you don't have to worry about creating or looking for a band or anything.
You can
What
just
do you
demo something.
go ahead.
Oh no, no,
Right,
you
you
can
can,
talk.
yeah,
Sorry.
you can put down a demo and say, okay, here's how the song goes.
Yeah,
Let's work it out.
it's,
Definitely. What's your opinion of AI music?
that's scary. AI music. There was this like the South African artist earlier this year. He released a track, and then he said the guest vocalist, and everybody was guessing it was a male artist singing with a female guest artist. And
Right.
after a week or so, he said it's an AI vocalist, and that was
Vocalist.
scary because um, s- I'm against it. Sorry, it's gonna be too generic later on. You know, it takes out the artistry, and it's gonna be probably too perfect. You know, everything's gonna be on key on the timing is going to be it's going to be like a machine. Well, it is a machine.
Well, I can hear it. I can hear um when something's AI and when something is not AI.
Yeah.
And like you're right, it's too perfect. The vocals don't really have any emotion to them like an
No, it's not.
actual
No.
singer would have. And it's like, you hear a song, somebody says, "Hey, did you hear this song?" Oh, that's AI. Oh, how did you know it's AI? I'm like,
Because it's
it's too
too
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear the breaths, you don't hear this and
Mhm.
that. I mean, what you would hear out of a regular studio recording. So I tend to agree with you because we're songwriters
Yeah.
and it's a craft
No,
to
it's,
be a songwriter.
and it's going to take money away from people working. Let's say, for example, one of the biggest movies coming out, and the director decides he doesn't want to use a real live band. He's going to ask an AI to write the theme song for the movie. You know how many plays movies get.
Right.
And he's gonna get the royalties, for example. He's gonna get the plays and the ads and stuff, of the song plays on YouTube. So it's gonna take money off the table, food out of people's mouths, out of the artists' mouths, you know.
The artist, yeah.
So
And I'm all about the artist.
and people are
And
gonna And even
Be-
background music, they're gonna say, let's quickly use AI for a documentary for background music. You know, where people actually would write that music for
right.
certain stuff.
So I take it that you're not going to use AI for your documentary.
No,
It would be
no,
close. Yeah, that would be probably
no,
not
no.
the thing that you would want to do. Well, I'm really excited about what's coming up. I mean, to learn some of the things that I did not know about you and your past and your journey here. Um, if I ever leave the United States, I'll make sure I have my visas in check.
You
If
don't need
I
a visa
if
to come here, by the way. You can just bring a passport. You can just come to South
Okay,
Africa.
is there a boat? I have to fly. How many hours does it take to fly to South
I think
Africa?
if you fly via Heathrow, I think it's from New York, 6 hours to London, and then from London about 12 hours. Well, it depends on your layover, but if you fly direct, about 18 hours to JFK, I would think.
What the hell do you do in a plane for that long?
Sleep.
Unless they're giving out sleeping pills.
Or Jack
Unlike this.
Daniels.
Yeah,
Well, I don't drink a Jack. I think my longest flight was to Brazil, and that was like 28 hours, and I was just sleeping after some
sleeping
Jack Daniels.
and I'm not a drinker, but maybe I could start, on a flight.
No, no,
But then it's that idea of like, oh man, I'm really like I'm drunk. I'm a little kind of stoned here. Oh my god, what was that? Oh, we're gonna die. Things like
ah!
that. Yeah, I can go to extremes. So, all right. Well, you'll be the first one to know when I come to see you.
That would be very, very cool.
And meanwhile, Doc is going to work on getting that jet together. Isn't that
Please,
right,
Doc.
Doc? I hear you back there going, yes, Sue, sure.
Sure.
So there he is. I knew it, Doc. I knew you were back there. So, okay, let's tell people where they can find LA Cobra. If you
Um,
would like to go to their website, where is
uh,
that, Don?
our website's on the internet.
That's a good start.
It's www.lacobra.co.za.
So that's
And
lacobra.coz, as in zebra, A.
yeah, yes.
So that's to the website. Do you have merchandise there?
Now merchandise is on our Facebook store, so they can just check www.facebook.com/LA Cobra Band, and
There it
you'll
is.
find all our stuff there. Yeah.
And
Instagram, they can also contact us.
yes, and you can contact them on Instagram. Let's see, you're on YouTube,
Yes,
Facebook,
YouTube.
Twitter,
Yes.
Instagram, and SoundCloud.
Yes,
Did I miss
SoundCloud's still
anything?
there.
It, it it's on your page, I think.
I'm
I still
surprised.
have. I don't know. Do they still use SoundCloud? Because I have it in my
And
phone, but I've
then also
never stored anything.
Spotify, Spotify and iTunes. They can find us if they want
Oh,
to
you're on
listen to the
iTunes.
stuff.
Well, you're on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. I think Pandora is in the US. We're on Pandora, YouTube Music. If you guys are streaming YouTube Music, but we've got a YouTube channel as well. But if you guys want to get hold of us for bookings, you can email us at info@lacobra.co.za. Am I right?
And there you go. That's where you can find it. There's
Yes.
your webpage and the songs that are on your latest album, Superstition.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Exciting stuff. Well, Donnie, it's been a pleasure to have you on. It really has. I mean,
Thank you.
it's just so much, there's so much to learn about people. And how they're doing or how they got to where they're going. And, and I kind of made this show so that not only was I highlighting the musicians, but other music lovers and or musicians could learn from someone like yourself how to get to the next place, in
Yes.
their career. And and I thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure having you on. Crash Diet. I like the name of that
Oh
band.
yeah, yeah. That's
Is
very
is
cool.
there a diet? If they have one, send it to me, please.
I
I'm
will
always
ask them.
I'm always looking for a crash diet, that's for sure. So in closing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, LA Cobra out of South Africa, Don Cobra, all
Thank
the
you for
way
having
coming
me.
from you. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. We will continue to play LA Cobra, and we never take your music out of rotation here on
Yes,
Hamilton
thanks.
Radio.
It really means a
Absolutely.
lot. I'll be
And
in contact with our new album as well as soon as it's ready.
yes, I will look forward to it, and I wish you best in all your musical endeavors as well as your personal ones. So, geez, thank you so much. Hey, I'm Sue Bloom. I'm out of here with Don, but we're a little bit just distance away. So, anyways, yeah, I am Sue Bloom. I will be back next week and have another artist on for you, an individual artist. So, until then, peace, y'all. I'm out. Thanks, Don.
Cheers. Thank you.